Hello and welcome to the Supernatural Track here at Continual. I'm your host, Gail Martin, and today we are talking about supernatural holiday gifts because there's a ton of stuff out there and you don't have to buy your stuff at the gas and sip. We have more choices for you. But before we get started on that, let's let our wonderful panelists introduce themselves, starting with Lynn.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lynn Zubernis. I am a clinical psychologist and a professor at Westchester University. And one of my research areas is fandom, especially supernatural fandom, because I'm a huge supernatural fan. So I've written a bunch of books on the show and some with the cast of the show, which I'm sure we'll talk about. So happy to be here. I have some supernatural stuff of my own, so I'll talk about that.
Awesome. Ann?
Hi, I'm Ann Wicker, and I'm a former journalist, now a writer and editor. And I came late to the supernatural family, but I went right down that rabbit hole, and I've and I have some good stuff that I've collected, and I spent some time on Etsy today, and it's amazing what's out there.
And I'm Gail Martin, and Morgan Bryce. As Gail, I write epic and urban fantasy. As Morgan, I write urban fantasy, male paranormal romance. But all my modern day worlds are ones Sam and Dean can walk into and feel right at home. I came late to the party like Ann, fell in love with the show halfway through season 11, binge watched 11 seasons in time for the start of season 12, and I proudly bear the title of Obsessed Fan. So let's just go around and maybe give one or two gift suggestions for the supernatural fan in your life, and we'll just keep going around until we run out of time. Lynn?
Well, I may as well talk about the things that I have myself, because I can certainly vouch for them as things that other people maybe would like, because I like them. I'm going to let Ann talk about my own books, because it would be weird for me to talk about my own books. I think they make good gifts, but I think I'm also kind of biased, so I'm not going to actually talk about them. But let me talk about some of the favorite other supernatural things that I have. One of them is I have several, because I can switch them out, license plate frames. One of them says driver picks the music on the top, and then shotgun shuts his cake hole on the bottom. The other one is a Kaz 2Y5 one. And I just love having that on the back of my car. It's kind of subtle, but it's there. And as soon as somebody's behind you and they see that, they will absolutely know you're a supernatural fan. I did a little, like Ann, a little cursory look at Redbubble and Etsy today. And yes, sure enough, you can still find them on Etsy. I saw both of them at a little shop called One Nerd Creations, the numeral one Nerd Creations. So I'll start with that. That's one of my top recommendations.
Okay. Ann?
Well, I have to say that Lynn's two books are There Will Be Peace When You Are Done, the second book, and Family Don't End with Blood are very favorites of mine. And part of the reason is that the cast contributed these stories, as well as people who are like ourselves, who are fans, and it's just, both are just enjoyable reads. And Jensen, Jared's longer essay in the first book is just, it's wonderful. And Jensen's essays are shorter, but they're also very, very wonderful. And some of the other cast members, the way the show has meant so much to them in so many different ways, it is just wonderful. And since I'm a convention goer, I like to take the books and get the people who have written something in the book to sign their page in the book. And I usually buy gold, so I get a certain number of free or autographs that go with the gold ticket from Creation Entertainment, and it makes the book even more special. And of course, I've gotten Lynn to autograph both of the books as well. And she also has a book called Fangasm, which is more about it's based out of Supernatural, but it's also just about fandom and the way fandom has evolved over the years and that sort of thing too. And if you're a boys fan, the boys fan, she also has a book about the boys, and Jensen is interviewed in that book about his character Soldier Boy. So Lynn just has all this great stuff that you can get.
I like to
And
write
they're
books on
available through
Supernatural.
they're available through Amazon and I think other outlets too, like
Yeah, Barnes and
Barnes and Noble.
Noble, any of the bookstores, online or
Okay.
in person. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, and I'm partial to There'll Be Peace When You Are Done because Lynn asked me to write a chapter for it. So there you go. But I do want to, while we're talking about books, Lynn does have, I think it's 6 books that you've written about the series, Lynn.
Yeah.
So there's Fan Phenomena, Supernatural, and Ann mentioned the book about the boys, Soups Ain't Always Heroes. There's Fangasm, Supernatural, Fangirls, Fandom at the Crossroads. So if you like diving into why being a fan works, what it means, how it works on a psychological standpoint, which I do, they are a fun look kind of under the hood of fandom and the psychology of fandom. And then while we're talking books, I'm going to throw one out there also, Supernatural Psychology, Roads Less Traveled, that Lynn contributed to, and also some folks you've seen here on our panels like Travis Langley, and Supernatural Therapy, Hunting Your Internal Monsters, which another one of our frequent panelists, Janina Scarlett, has written. So if you like reading books that kind of go deep into the why of fandom, those are all big winners. And then if you haven't read the Supernatural novels, these are published novels. I think there are about 13 or 14 of them. Keith DeCandido, who is a multi-genre tie-in writer who's worked with most of the major tie-in franchises out there, wrote the first 3. And then there are a number of other writers as well. But these are all original books, traditionally published, and they are additional adventures. They're like a new episode. And so if you haven't experienced those, they're a lot of fun, and they are out there on Amazon. Back to you, Lynn.
Okay, another thing that I have that I actually get every year, there's someone in my family always gets it because they know I want it every year, and I don't know what I'll do when it's not available anymore, and I'm so happy that it's still available even though the show has been off the air for 4 years, is a Supernatural calendar. So calendars.com still has their Supernatural calendar. Look, there it is, Supernatural Join the Hunt. I have that one too. There's one for 2025 that's already out there. You can get them at Target, you can get them at Amazon. I like to have sort of the official one because I get a kick out of the fact that they are still making the official one. So I always have that one in my kitchen on the wall. It's nice and big. I like a big wall calendar so I can keep all the 8 million things on there to easily see. There's also, I should say, plenty of artist created and photographer created Supernatural calendars out there. So again, if you go on like the Etsy or the Redbubble to look for the small business artist shops, there are people who've put together their own calendars too, maybe with their convention photography or something like that. Usually not with scenes from the show, since that's probably frowned on by Warner Brothers, but usually photos that someone has taken, which they have the copyright to, and then they make them into a calendar. So that's a nice way, kind of a subtle way to always have Supernatural in my kitchen.
Okay. Ann?
Yeah, the Supernatural calendar is something I buy every year as well, and I really enjoy them. I usually get mine from Amazon. Another thing that I really have enjoyed although I don't drink cocktails too much, I'm a wine drinker, but I got a big kick out of Supernatural Join the Hunt, the official cocktail book. And then there's also an official cookbook, which I failed to get out of my cookbook shelf, sorry. And both of those are available on Amazon. And I haven't tried anything from the cookbook, but there's things like Winchester Surprise and different things that might have been mentioned, I think there's a recipe or at least instructions for the burger with the uh, donut and bacon and stuff that Dean wanted. So there's several things like that in there too, and it's a lot of fun to peruse and read the little stories and that sort of thing too. So if you've got somebody who's a Supernatural fan and who loves to cook, that would be a good choice. And again, those are available through Amazon, several other outlets. I've seen them at conventions. Of course, there's no more conventions this year, I don't think. But anyway, but a good birthday present too for later in the year. So those two books are a lot of fun and have a lot of good pictures. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention the I think it was originally a crew gift, and it's a big coffee table book, and it's expensive, but
It's gorgeous.
it's gorgeous. It's got some of the greatest photography in it of sets, and it's mostly just photography. There's not a lot of explanation in the book, but it's for a true Supernatural fan. It's just an amazing collection. What's the official title, Gail? Do you remember?
I don't remember, but it is absolutely gorgeous and it has a place of honor on my desk.
And
It's on my coffee table. Literally, it's a coffee table book. It's
Yeah.
on my coffee table. I don't know that it's available anymore, though. It may have been a limited availability kind of thing.
I have seen it on the Stan's site
So
recently.
they might have it. Okay.
That they
I didn't
might
see
have
it
a
on
few
there.
copies of it, but yeah, it's very limited. You have to kind of hunt it down. But I think I think there might still be some out there.
Okay. Well, since we're talking books, another one that may be limited availability, but you might be able to find it somewhere is the Supernatural Advent Calendar book. I own it and I very gently take things out of it and I put them all back in and don't use them. Because some of them are consumable, like tattoos or things like that. But I want to be able to open them next year. So you can either go through it and use everything and have fun with it, or you can preserve it for the next year. But that was a fun one. I see that it's currently unavailable on Amazon. You may be able to pick it up secondhand. And the other thing I want to mention, it's not a book, but since we have talked about conventions, Creation Entertainment, if you have a friend who is already committed to going to a con for next year, you can gift photo ops. You can gift, things that they might not splurge for themselves or it might not be in their budget. But if you've got somebody who's already committed to go to a convention, you can make their event even more enjoyable by buying them some of the extras and gifting that through Creation Entertainment. So that's a thought, because there's a lot going on at those conventions, and only one person I can think of probably does all of them. So plenty of territory there. Lynn?
Well, while we're talking about Creation, I'll give a little shout out to Creation. Creation has a limited number of gift items and merch and clothing that you can buy online. But one of the new things that they have, which has only been around for a couple of months, is they have a clothing line from Jared and Jensen. So it's called the J-Pad or the Jared ones, and the Crew A line is the Jensen one. So they have shirts and hoodies. The J-Pad ones have a moose on them. The Crew A ones have a squirrel on them. So they have t-shirts, they have hoodies, they have beanies. And they are the specific ones that are from Jared and Jensen. I'm not super wild about the Crew A ones. I wish I was, but the Moose ones I think are actually really, really cute. And another thing that you can get that is sort of direct from Jensen in this case and Radio Company is Radio Company, the band that Jensen has with Steve Carlson, they now have their own merch too. So they always have, if you're at a convention, they now have, a booth where you can buy not just their music, which of course, if you have a music lover, Radio Company really is a great band, Supernatural adjacent because it's Jensen's, but they also have t-shirts and hats and, a limited amount of merch too. So that's something a little bit different and it's a little bit away from Supernatural, but I'm throwing it in there because it's Supernatural adjacent, both of those things.
And the
Okay.
Radio Company stuff is also available on the Radio Company website,
Right.
so you can order it directly.
Okay, Lynn? Sorry, Ann?
Well, another thing that I have that I haven't really explored very much, but I've been intrigued by it for some time, is the tarot card deck and guidebook. And I've always been fascinated by tarot cards and readings and that sort of thing. And I thought that this one would be a good one to delve into. Like I said, I haven't delved into it much, but I think it's going to be something fun to delve into when I get some time, when, that limited time off we all have. So anyway, I think that's a fun thing. And then I also bought some time ago, and I can't remember where I bought it from, but it's a box set. I'm a long time, since I was a child, postcard collector. And there's this whole box of Supernatural postcards, and they're really nicely done on heavy paper. I mean, you could use them if you want to mail them. Not that many people mail postcards these days, but it's they come in this nice gift box, and it's a fun thing to look through too, because there's scenes from the show, and some scenes that you might not quite remember. They might be slightly, you know, outtakes or something, but it's a fun gift for somebody who is intrigued with the postcards or whatever. And I think it's available. I'm not sure. I've seen the tarot card deck recently on the Stands site. The postcard, the box set of postcards, I can't remember where I ordered that from.
I have it too, but I don't remember either. While we're talking about music, don't forget that Loud and Swain, the band that Rob Benedict is part of, and so Loud and Swain also has a store. If you go to there, loudandswain.com, and you can get their official merchandise. So everything from keychains to music to t-shirts. So that is there for a music lover. And if you haven't found Stands, and it's shopstands.com, they have a whole lot of Supernatural stuff, from character coins to stickers to and Always Keep Fighting sweatshirt, lots of cool stuff, earrings, flask, pocket watch, pins. So plenty of stuff, that little and big, that can either be a present or stocking stuffer. And so they have a lot of Supernatural stuff, among other fandoms that they also cover. Lynn?
Another thing that I have that I actually really like are a bunch of Supernatural candles that people have given me as gifts. So the ones that I have are just pretty standard. Like there's a Dean Winchester candle. I think it smells like pie and something else. And there's a Sam Winchester candle, and just I have the basics, but I like them because I like to burn candles around the holidays. So why not burn a supernatural one? But I went when I was in my travels on Redbubble and Etsy today, I realized there are a whole lot of other candles there. And I just wanted to tell you about some of the interesting ones that I saw. So there's a small business shop on Etsy called Smells Like Life Shop. And they have one that is smells like Jensen Ackles. They have one that's smells like Jared Padalecki. They have one, this one's by Candle Cozy Corner, called Smells Like She's Watching Supernatural Again, which I just really want because what a great message in a candle. Yeah, watching Supernatural again. And then there's another shop called Lily's Shadow that has a Dean Winchester candle that is mellow like leather and hot apple pie, and a Sam Winchester candle that is mellow like aftershave and reading lore. So that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's all kinds of candles out there, but I feel like in the wintertime, especially if it's cold where you happen to live, it's nice to burn a candle, and why not have it smell reminiscent of supernatural in some way?
Okay, Ann.
Well, I want to circle back to the tarot cards, and they're apparently available on Amazon and also the WB shop. And the WB shop, Warner Brothers shop, has a number of supernatural related items. Although since the show's been off for 4 years, off the network for 4 years, they don't have as much, but they still have some things. And actually, they have some things like this is just a blank book that I bought some years ago from the WB shop. And I really do like blank books, and I have several of those. And you can also get, I don't own a copy, but you can also get John Winchester, a reproduction John Winchester journal. And I first saw that on the Conquest Journals um, website, and they still have those. They have much more limited. They used to have a whole lot of supernatural stuff. They have a much more limited collection of supernatural things now, supernatural items now, but they still have a few. And they have a few blank books, one with the Castiel theme on the cover, one with the Dean theme, one with the Sam theme on a quote on the cover, but inside is a blank book. And those are really nice gift for somebody. But yeah, if somebody is really into the John Winchester Journal, they have the pages with some of the drawings, and you can even get the set of medals and stuff that are in the front of the journal, on in the show, and you can get the reproduction medals and stuff to put in the journal, and it looks like it's a really nicely made journal too, wet leather and stuff, or if it's not real leather, it looks good anyway. And and speaking of Conquest journals, they like I said, they have different funny things like a Biggerson's order pad and a singer salvage, receipt book and that sort of thing. So that's another source for some really sort of different um supernatural gifts.
Okay. Well, if you like card games, go out on Amazon and you can find a supernatural playing deck. So it's got pictures of the cast and pictures from the show on the deck. There's also a supernatural trivia game. There is a Cards Against Supernatural version of Cards Against Humanity. So lots of fun things there if you just like playing with other people who have the same sort of obsessive knowledge of the show, to see who remembers all the details. So those are fun to have. And you can't go wrong with socks. There are so many supernatural socks out there. Your feet will never be demon possessed or angel possessed. You can get all kinds of long socks, short socks, all kinds of socks, multiple versions of socks in all kinds of colors and designs. So if you're just looking for something small, but They keep your feet warm at night. You can't go wrong with Supernatural socks. I have a lot of them. Lynn?
I forgot I have a bunch of Supernatural socks, but yes, I also do have a bunch of Supernatural socks. Um, I'm going to give a shout out to Hot Topic because I'm always, like I said, I'm always happy when organizations are still carrying Supernatural stuff. Hot Topic for years was a great place to go for Supernatural and other pop culture things. And I went on their website today to see how much Supernatural stuff they have. And yeah, they still have a lot of Supernatural stuff. Some of the things that I saw, I don't have any of these, but I thought these were really interesting. They have a work jacket that is 50% off right now, so it's $35. A really substantial, outdoor kind of work jacket, not a hoodie, but an actual jacket, which was really nice. And for $35, that's 50% off 70, so that was nice. They have a seat belt that says Winchester Brothers on it, so you can replace your seatbelt strap in your car with a seatbelt strap that says Winchester Brothers on it and has an anti-possession symbol. I thought that was a really cool thing too. I had no idea that they were carrying something like that's like $25. They have anti-possession symbol wallet. They have a hair clip, an anti-possession hair clip, so that your socks will keep your feet from getting possessed, but it would be good for your head not to be possessed either. So you could wear a hair clip. And then the other thing that I saw that I really liked, if you have a sort of a BFF or a partner, they have bitch and jerk necklaces. So two matching necklaces. One says bitch, one says jerk. They're really cute. They're advertised as for you and your BFF, which I thought was adorable. And they're only $13. So I thought Hot Topic had some really nice and those are kind of unusual gifts. And I'm very glad to see they're still carrying Supernatural stuff.
And how about you?
Another thing, I don't have one, but that's readily available, kind of like socks, are phone cases with anti-possession symbols, with pictures of Jared and Jensen as Dean and Sam, or as Jared and Jensen, or Crowley, or almost whoever you want. And those are available readily from Amazon or the WB official merchandise site, or Etsy has a lot of those too. So you can probably find some design that you really like in a phone case out there, or that your giftee will really like. If they're a Sam girl or a Dean girl, or a Castiel girl, you can probably find a phone case that represents it.
Adult coloring books. They are on Amazon, they are on Etsy, but if that's a stress reliever for you, there are at least 3 or 4 that I've seen, maybe more, where there are well-drawn scenes from the show or the characters. Grab some colored pencils, make it your own, but that can be very soothing, and hey, it's always fun to spend time with our boys. And as you've seen me lifting my coffee, mugs and tumblers, all kinds of mugs and tumblers, especially on Etsy, but you can also find a number of them on Amazon. So if you, whether you've got holy water or just plain coffee, or maybe a Dean special, you can drink it out of. My coffee will never get possessed. Back to you, Ann.
To me,
Yes,
okay.
I'm sorry, back to Lynn.
Doesn't matter really.
Doesn't matter really. We're just
No.
going back and forth. Well, if somebody's looking for a stocking stuffer, like little things, there's a lot of little Supernatural things that you can buy on Redbubble, especially. They kind of seem to specialize in stickers, so there must be 50 different shops on Redbubble that have Supernatural stickers. And some of my favorites that I ran into, there's a whole lot of them that are like favorite lines from the show. So you really could put them anywhere. You could put them on a laptop, like Sam always had stickers on his laptop. You can stick them on your fridge. You can really put them wherever. I saw My People Skills Are Rusty. I saw, of course, Driver Picks the Music. I saw I lost my shoe. I saw it's funnier in Enochian. There were jerk bitch ones. There were, of course, millions of the anti-possession symbols, so that you can just get your own sticker and make sure that nothing gets possessed in your house by just putting the stickers on whatever. SWDW initials, lots of the Impala, which is just makes anything that she's on cooler. So if you're just looking for like little things, maybe to put into a greeting card that you're sending someone who's a fellow Supernatural fan, or tucking in a stocking or something, all the stickers from all these different shops. And some of them are from, artists making their own stickers. So there's all kinds of adorable figures. There's chibis, there's realistic figures, there's cartoons. So you can really find a sticker for almost anything. Tons of them out there.
Okay. Ann.
Well, I've never done it actually, but there's a site called Cameo, and you can buy video messages from a lot of different actors in a lot of different fandoms, just almost everybody you can think of. And so I looked to see if there were still any Supernatural actors doing these, and sure enough, there are a lot of doing them right now for Christmas gifts, for that sort of thing. And the price range is pretty wide. Some of them are pretty expensive. But you've got Kim Rhodes, Ty Olson, DJ Qualls, Sam Smith, Emily Swallow is there for both Supernatural and The Mandalorian, and Rick Worthy, which I thought that was really cool, and Matt Cohen, Brianna, and Sebastian Roche, Ostrich is on there. Mark Pellegrino, of course, Mark Shepard is on there, which that would be really special to have a Crowley message. And I know in the past that Ty Olson has done messages as Benny, so that would be really special. I'm a big Benny fan, so I would think that would be very special. Sam Smith, and I can't remember. I wrote them all down here. Gabe Tigerman, and interestingly enough, Jim Michaels, who was one of the producers of Supernatural, is doing cameos. So I thought that was pretty cool. I would love it if you could do a little, 2-minute Q&A, but I don't think that's how it works. So I'm not really sure exactly how Cameo works, but it's something to look into if you're can't think of, I mean, for the Supernatural fan who has everything, this might be a good alternative.
Okay. Just scrolling through Amazon, there is an oracle deck, beautifully illustrated, and it's kind of like tarot, sort of on the predictive sense of things. I'm looking at it, and as of today, it still arrives before Christmas, so it's definitely still available, as well as lots of t-shirts and sweatshirts. I also want to give a shout out to another site that has a lot of Supernatural merch, and that's Not Topic. That's NOT-Topic. They're at a number of conventions, and they also carry a lot of fandom merch, including a lot of Supernatural merch. So that's another option for finding something. And they have everything from keychains and stickers to bigger stuff. So jewelry, flannel shirts, collectibles, a pretty wide variety at a variety of price points. So you can find something from stocking stuffers up to major gifts. Speaking of major gifts, most of us consume our Supernatural binges on Netflix, but there's always that worry that if something's only available, if we're only consuming something on a streaming service, what happens if Netflix decides it doesn't want to carry Supernatural anymore? Well, this is why dedicated fans buy all of the DVDs, and if you're like me, also on Blu-ray. all 15 seasons in both formats. You don't
Yep.
have to go quite that far, but that assures that you will always be able to get your supernatural fix no matter what Netflix decides to do. And it takes a while to build that library because DVDs and Blu-rays aren't cheap, but you know, there is no time like the present to start.
And also you can get the box set of
Yes.
Supernatural and DVD. Now, I don't know if there's a Blu-ray box set, but there probably is.
I don't know. I don't know. I have the
Uh,
DVD set.
Yes, there
Yeah.
is.
Is there?
It's pricey, but there is the Supernatural Complete Series Blu-ray. I'm looking at it on Amazon right now as
Oh,
well
okay.
as the DVD set.
Yeah, I have the DVD set,
Yeah,
which
me
it's
too.
great.
Mm-hmm. Back to you, Lynn.
All right, well, I'm going to switch gears a little bit. So, one of the things that we know is that it's really good for us to not just get gifts, but to give back at the holidays. So, one of the things that you could also do on behalf of a supernatural friend is donate to something like Random Acts, which is a charity that does a lot of work in all different areas of the world, that was started by Misha Collins and the Supernatural family. Or there are a couple of suicide prevention organizations that were also started out of the Supernatural family. One is SPN Survivors, and one is Attitudes in Reverse. Those are also the three charities that if you do end up buying a copy of Family Don't End with Blood, that book by the cast and fans, or There'll Be Peace When You Are Done by the cast and fans, 20% of the proceeds every time you buy one of those books goes to Random Acts and one of the suicide prevention organizations. So I always think that's kind of a nice thing. I have several friends who always give to some charity in honor of sort of our family, and that's always like a lovely thing to get that card that says we've given this on your behalf. So those are some supernatural related ways that you can give back at the holidays.
Oh,
Okay.
that's lovely,
That's
Lynn.
great.
I didn't really realize that because that's what several years ago, my husband and I decided that, we have enough stuff. Most of our friends have enough stuff. So we give donations in honor of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Anne?
Well, I'll put in I did this for a while, but I didn't continue, but another nice but maybe kind of expensive gift for a Supernatural fan is the Culture Fly subscription. And every quarter they send a box of supernatural related, they're usually themed. One of the ones that I got was a cooking theme, and it had an apron and measuring cups and a trivet and different things like that went along with cooking. And so I think each one has a different theme. I think there was a Scooby Natural box at one point. And so that would be a subscription to Culture Fly, would be another um, gift that keeps on giving for a Supernatural fan for a year or whatever.
Okay. Well, folks, we have blown through our time. I think we have given a lot of good ideas for Christmas and every other holiday giving event throughout the year. But before we wrap up, please tell everybody where we can find you online. Lynn?
You can find me on pretty much all social media at FangasmSPN. You can find information on all the books at my website, fangasmthebook.com. You can also find all the books on Amazon or barnesandnoble.com. And for more information on them and the charities that they benefit, you can go to the website peacewhenyouaredone.com.
Very good. Anne?
I'm mostly on Facebook and Instagram as Ann Wicker or Ann.Wicker too, and usually look for this Christmas I have my favorite old Santa as my picture, but mostly look for the bracelets. And then I'm also now on Blue Sky, so look for me there.
Me too.
Okay. And I'm pretty easy to find at gailcmartin.com, morganbryce.com. If you spell them right, you'll find me on all the social medias. I also run the Supernatural TFWNC group on Facebook where we talk about, shocker, supernatural. But most of the time you can find me here on Continual. So thank you both so much for a wonderful set of terrific holiday ideas. Everybody watching this, run right out and buy things for all the people on your gift list and yourself. Have a wonderful holiday season, and we'll see you soon. There'll be more Supernatural coming up, so stay tuned. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Happy holidays.